They did move off of Minkah Fitzpatrick, but Minkah is low maintenance, $7 million a year cheaper, a leader in the room, not a bounce around the league guy, so the Steelers can't help themselves. Now they're spending $7.5 million more than they were yesterday in the secondary. And for the record, Pittsburgh has led the NFL in defensive spending 3 years in a row. This will guarantee it's 4. The New York Giants and the Steelers spend all their money on defense. You know who spends it on offense? The Rams and the Eagles have the 2 cheapest defenses today, and the Chiefs spent the most money in the league on offense. Chiefs, Steelers, Rams, what do they have in common? Momentum, winning, perpetually interesting. In the NFL, everybody's got a budget. It's called the cap. Where do you spend their money? I've told my kids my entire life, the 2 E's, education and experiences. That's where I'm going to spend my money. On great, memorable things when dad is gone, great memories, and to educate. All right? If you're spending on cars, a third. If you're spending it on clothes, I'm going to be able to tell over time. You didn't spend it wisely. Stop spending money on defense. I thought, oh, they're moving off Minkah Fitzpatrick, who didn't have a great year. I mean, he was like 52nd ranked safety, a good player, but a team leader. And by the way, they're number 1 in defensive spending, and they don't have the TJ Watt contract finalized. That's going to be $45 million annually. So you have that TJ Watt issue to deal with, and he's your best defensive player. And Jalen Ramsey, 2 things. He's a very, very loose player. That's why the Rams moved off him. They wouldn't badmouth him publicly, but he's kind of an independent guy doing his own thing. He's an independent contractor. He's going to do what he wants on his terms. And the Rams, after he got burned 2 or 3 times in that playoff Super Bowl run, you know, they got tired of it. So he's also a player. He's very dependent on his environment. And so when he was with the loose Dolphins and the loose Jacksonville Jaguar organizations, he wasn't as good. He was loose. He made mistakes. When the Rams got him, I thought he was probably the best Jalen Ramsey. I've said this before about Randy Moss. When Randy had the Patriots, he broke NFL records. When he was with the stable Vikings, Randy Moss was great. Put him on the Raiders, uh-oh. So there's just a lot of people in life and a lot of professional athletes in life. They're very much a reflection of the environment they're in. And so Minkah Fitzpatrick, he's going to be good anywhere. It didn't matter if the Steelers are loose. Minkah Fitzpatrick is a pro, a leader, dependable. Jalen Ramsey, much more a reflection of the environment. So he goes to an organization that, remember James Harrison last week saying the best part about Mike Tomlin, he's a player's coach. The worst part about Mike Tomlin, he's really a player's coach.
Okay, we can't decide how we feel about Mike Tomlin in terms of the environment and culture that he creates, right? It's either too loose or it's, hey, Mike Tomlin, you know, he controls that locker room. He's the leader. He's the alpha. It's, which is it then? Which is it? It's like 1 minute, it's he's this hard-nosed, focused, grounded coach, and the next second it's, it's too loose there. And if anything, that kind of shows that Mike Tomlin is actually pretty balanced. That he runs a tight ship there, that he demands you to put in work, right, to show up. But then he also isn't so binary with the strictness that he has room to wiggle. Like it's actually a great place to be in. It's someone who you can be comfortable being led by, but also showing a little bit of yourself, which is what they say about Andy Reid, that Andy Reid is very strict, but also gives you the room to be your own person, to have your own personality. So it's just interesting to think that Ramsey now is just going to be all loose and all over the place. Listen, I was waiting for Ramsey to go to the Rams, actually, because Colin was praising the Rams for moving on from Jalen Ramsey. And then it was like a week later, it was reports that the Rams are interested in Jalen Ramsey. And I just wanted to see if, Jalen Ramsey went back to LA and like how that was going to be wrestled with. But obviously he went to Pittsburgh. Listen, I get it. I also, prioritize personality and fit like Colin does. And so I very much am, from that same side of things. So I totally 100% get it. But obviously Jalen Ramsey, because he's like, oh, Megan Fitzpatrick was ranked 52nd. And it's like, right, and Jalen Ramsey was ranked 16th, okay, out of 222. If you look at his overall grade, 16th, pass rush 19th, run defense 10th, and coverage grade 39th. I mean, it was a good year for him on a Miami Dolphins team. That is really a great big mess, especially defensively, but also offensively when Tua went down. I mean, like, that team was a mess. Team is a mess. Their culture is a mess. And so to think that there's not going to be more stability and more groundedness in Pittsburgh, it's crazy. Of course there will be. Of course there will be. And Mike Tomlin will actually be able to speak his language, right? Like he'll finally be in a place where his head coach can speak his language, which he just never really had. So I'm interested. I mean, obviously he's getting up there in age and whatnot, but when you have Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback, this was always about like, hey, let's try to swing for this year. Let's try to swing for this year. They believe he's a good enough quarterback. They want to elevate their defense even more. And this is what I said, and I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. I said to this before where I said, listen, Mike Tomlin, you're the defensive head coach, okay? This is your team. You're spending all this money on defense. You prioritize defense, defense, defense. And I said, if you're going to do that, your defense needs to be suffocating. Your defense needs to be able to make statements in huge games. I don't care just about the bottom line ranking when it's like, oh, they're the 4th ranked best defense because they average only giving up like 19 points per game or, you know, whatever the final number ends up being. And that's important too. Don't get me wrong. But then in the most important moments, you need to be able to be like, whoa, that defense stepped up. You know, when you're having a game and you're playing against Patrick Mahomes in the regular season or in the playoffs, you're going against Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. Yeah, your offense might not be great, but you're Mike Tomlin. You're supposed to be this Hall of Fame great coach. Pittsburgh Steelers go all in on defense. It's like you want to leave that playoff game being like, oh my gosh, that Steelers defense was suffocating. Not unlike what you saw with the Kansas City Chiefs do against the Ravens in 2023. What you saw the Eagles do against the Kansas City Chiefs in, you know, in the Super Bowl. Like you need to have those moments. You need to have those moments. We so regularly see those moments from offensive coaches all the time. You know, we see it with Andy Reid. You see it with Sean McVay. You've seen it with Shanahan, right? Like you've seen these moments when you're like, that was a masterclass. That play call, that game plan, masterclass. Oh, those adjustments that they made in the second half. Oh, soon, as so-and-so went down in the secondary and the way how they went after it, masterclass. You rarely see it defensively. We saw it with Fangio. We've seen it, of course, with Spags. It's like most recently, you need to see it with Mike Tomlin. And it needs to be in important big moments. Like that's what you want to. I don't care that you shut down the Jets last year or something. Like who cares about that? It means nothing to me. Means nothing to me. And it can't just be a one-off against the Ravens in the regular season or something. Like it needs to be when the moments matter most. You have a chance to win this game and it's going to put you in first place in the division. I want to see the defense just get after it. First round of the playoffs, you're playing a big quarterback. All right, because some fits for him, force some turnovers. And so when you make these moves, to me, that jacks up the pressure on defense for you to perform. It's like I need to see this defense then be awesome, 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 awesome start to finish. And it can't be like, oh, they were great during the regular season, and then in the playoffs, it's like they still gave up like 32, you know, whoever. It's like, no, I need to see some moments when you're like, man, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, whoever was like, man, they looked lost in that first quarter. He did not expect a defense to look like that. You know, whatever it may be. So I'm okay with this as long as the defense rises to the occasion, because if the defense rises to the occasion and Aaron Rodgers is actually just fully healthy and can play like he played at the end of last season, then I think they can win a lot of games. I think they can win a lot of games. You know, Aaron Rodgers is still one of the smartest players, you know, out there. Make no mistake about it. If you need him to be a hero, it's not going to work out for you right now. But if you're going to have a defensive LE team and you can have a suffocating defense, and you're asking Aaron Rodgers, hey man, most games we just need like 20 points, man. We can miss some extra points. Doesn't even matter. We can kick a whole bunch of field goals, but like we just got to get down the field. Field goal range, kick some field goals, get a touchdown here and there, and we're good. We're going to win some games. We're going to dominate the clock. We're good. And then occasionally, yeah, we're going to be in some shootouts, but the foundation won't be that you're going to win a lot of games because Aaron Rodgers is not going to turn the ball over. He's not going to make bad plays. He's going to minimize all of the, you know, head smacking decisions. And I think it could be successful. I think it could be really, really successful. And I'm okay because he's talking about, you know, Ramsey and this or that. It's like this is all more short term anyway. It just is. And someone in the comment section brought this up, and it, you know, and it does make sense because you say, oh, the Steelers have led the league in defensive spending and all that. And it's like, well, they haven't had a quarterback that they've had to pay. So, like, that's going to be part of it too, but they obviously do put their primary focus on defense. That much is true. And if you're going to do that within your defense, better ball. So I'm interested to see the moves that they're making. I mean, what other offensive moves could they have made right now? Could they have traded for like a Debo? Like, I'm trying to think like who was technically available. I mean, they could have signed. I mean, like it is interesting because I guess they could have kept the defense pretty much as it is and drafted how they did. And then I guess they could have been like, all right, we got DK. Let's go out now and get a Debo. Let's go out and get a DeAndre Hopkins, who I think was just a straight up free agent. Let's get out. I mean, it could have been another Devontae. Technically, you could have reunited with Devontae, who I believe was also just a straight up free agent. I mean, like, I guess technically those options were available. Although I don't know if Devontae would want to go now follow Aaron again. Probably not would be my guess because that just makes it look like he's just following him everywhere he goes. And I feel like Devontae is like, I'm going to go to LA. So probably the more realistic situation would be signing DeAndre for a cheaper deal, as well as making a trade or making a play for Otto. I'm trying to think if anyone else would have been like kind of loosely available. Could have been really aggressive and I guess tried to get I don't know. And yeah, that probably seems like the most realistic opportunities to get a receiver who could make like a pretty legit impact. But I don't know. You know what? What happens to Aaron Rodgers if you give him let's say you give him a stacked offense, like truly by definition stacked offense, and just not a good defense though, an average defense? What would be better? What would lead to more wins? Having him operate in a stacked offense, but relying on him to kind of keep making it happen game after game after game, or having an awesome defense that can really minimize what you need from Aaron. But Aaron's offensive weapons are technically a little bit more limited. It's like it's an interesting question to ask yourself, and I still have to reflect on it to think what ultimately would put him in the best possible situation. And I think back to when Tom Brady was, running out of steam there. He had no run game and a bad defense. And it was just like, all right, we're going to need, I just remember Dak Prescott just teeing off on that defense. And it was just like, all right, Tom, you just got to throw the ball 90 times. Best of luck. And it was like, well, that's not going to work. Now, what if you gave Tom Brady a suffocating defense against the Dallas Cowboys and they held the Cowboys to only 18, 19 points or something? Another weird score. Would have Tom Brady won that game? Would he have been able to operate and manage that game? But would he, if he had a great offense, would he have been able to win a shootout? You gave him a bunch of receivers, great O-line run game. Would he have been able to put up awesome numbers and hang 40 ohm points? I don't know. It's interesting. And what's more consistent and reliable? Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Pittsburgh Steelers trading in Maker Fitzpatrick to the Dolphins for Jalen Ramsey and Smith, who I wonder how much of an impact he'll have, but let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. It's whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing, We are building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.